This whole Sam Elliott situation with him calling out the film The Power of the Dog and a lot of the nonsense that is in that film, and then receiving the incredible backlash that he did by the internet, this whole situation has now taken an even more ludicrous turn, and now we have Benedict Cumberbatch, the star of the film The Power of the Dog that Sam Elliott roasted to hell. He is now speaking out about this, and he is clapping back at Sam Elliott, which, you know, all the SJWs are all like, yeah, go Benedict, go. And everyone else is just like, yeah, this is just ridiculous. Benedict Cumberbatch, you have nothing on Sam Elliott when it comes to Western films at all. You can continue to say what you want to say. And look, I'm someone that actually enjoys a lot of Benedict Cumberbatch's movies, but what he says here is ridiculous and insane because he is pushing the same woke garbage that all of these Hollywood celebrities are. So he not only does he clap back at Sam Elliott, he also wants your sons to be feminists. And let me tell you one thing, there's nothing worse in this world than a male feminist. So that is obviously a bit of a joke. But Benedict Cumberbatch wants your sons to be feminists, responds to Sam Elliott's criticism of The Power of the Dog. Doctor Strange actor Benedict Cumberbatch recently claimed he wants to turn your sons into feminists. Which, you know, that is just the Hollywood agenda being exposed right there. He said it out loud. He said it out loud. Benedict Cumberbatch is telling you exactly what Hollywood wants to do. This is part of their agenda. This is what they want to do. They want to continue to destroy the nuclear family. That is at the heart of a lot of what Hollywood continues to do with their agendas. And the reason for that is because the nuclear family obviously is the most sound structure when it comes to a stable society. That's why they want to topple that. They want to cripple the nuclear family. And one of the ways of doing that is by making your sons feminists. And that is exactly what they want to do. So, while also responding to Sam Elliott's criticism of The Power of the Dog, Elliott took issue with the film's allusions to, you know, well, he had a lot of problems with the films. And honestly, I agree with a lot of the problems that he had with it. But we're going to talk about this and see exactly what Benedict Cumberbatch has to say. So, let's go ahead and get into this and see what the man himself has to say about this whole situation.
The audience at home, okay. So, the first one is from Jessica Romero. The Power of the Dog has been a watershed in your career. Phil is an extraordinary and complex character and shows human vulnerability and emotional dependence behind the rude personality. Could you tell me why you think it's important to portray him in the 21st century?
Okay, so now here we go. We get to Benedict Cumberbatch and what he has to say.
Because there are many of him still in the world, and I think if we're to teach...
So when he is referring to him, he's talking about the character that he plays in Power of the Dog. He says his name. I can't remember what his name is, but basically he plays like this really terrible character in the movie, who's supposed to be like a representation of toxic masculinity. And so that's what he's going to be talking about here. And he's going to be talking about how he wants to turn your sons into feminists.
Teach our sons to be feminists, if we're to teach equality, if we're to understand.
Okay, so if we want to achieve equality, we have to make boys feminist. That is the answer here. It isn't, you know, trying to, you know, grow men or grow young men into, you know, actual manly men who are still masculine. None of that type of stuff. No, they must be feminists, male feminists. Oh yeah, that's what that's what the society needs, is more male feminists. Let's see how, you know, we all saw how that turned out for Joss Whedon, right? Who is one of the most proclaimed male feminists out there. He brags about it all the time, and he is someone who has been very, shall we say, abusive in certain situations with certain females in the past and stuff. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
What poisons the well in men, what creates toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
We need to understand and look under the hood of characters like Phil Burbank to see what their struggle is and why that's there in the first place, because otherwise it will just keep repeating itself. And while we're thankfully moving into a space now where survivors are being heard and supported and protected,
I mean, that's the ridiculous thing about having a woke mentality, is that you think that if you continue to censor and, you know, put more rules and laws around certain individuals and silence what they say, and, you know, all of these types of things, if you continue to do that and you continue to also tell them that they must be feminists, then eventually there will be no more, no more bad things that people do. All the bad things will go away. I'm sorry to tell you this, but the human race is a fallen race, and we are going to continue to do bad things. Like that is not going to change. That doesn't mean that we continue to, you know, try to help and grow and help society to continue to grow. But these solutions that you're giving are not helpful solutions.
We've got a way to go on that. Still, don't get me wrong, but I think we also really have to look at the root cause of the behavior that these people have suffered from. And this man, trying very hard not to say anything about a very odd reaction that happened the other day on.
Okay, so this is when he talks about Sam Elliott. This is hilarious.
On a radio podcast over here, without meaning to sort of stir over the ashes of that, I won't get into the details of it. If it's hit the news at home, it has here. But someone really took offense to. I haven't heard it, so it's unfair really for me to comment.
Sam Elliott.
In detail on it, but really took offense to the West being portrayed in this way. And beyond that reaction, that sort of denial that anybody could have any other than a heteronormative existence because of what they do for a living or where they're born, there's also a massive intolerance within the world at large towards homosexuality still, towards an acceptance of the other, of any kind of difference. And
okay, so, and this is such a common tactic among leftists. So basically, because Sam Elliott was saying, okay, well, you don't need to portray men as, you know, soft, effeminate, male feminists, whatever else. You don't need to portray that. You can just make them, you know, decent men who are doing what they do out in the West and stuff. So Benedict Cumberbatch is completely taking what he said and just running with it in a completely ridiculous, over-exaggerated direction, and it's just something that leftists continue to do. This is what they love to do. They will take something that you say that they don't like, and then they'll just blow it up into something beyond anything that you even said, like completely. So it's so stupid. We see this tactic all the time.
No more so, I guess, in this prism of conformity, in the sense of what is expected of a man in the sort of the Western archetype mold of masculinity. And so I think to deconstruct that through film.
What is expected of a man? So apparently what we should be expecting of men is to be male feminists and gay, I guess. I don't. I mean, that's basically what he's saying here. Oh man, what about men being protectors, providers, and presiders? That is what men are called to do. Those are like the three basic foundational things of what makes a man: protector, provider, presider. Where exactly does male feminists fall into that? Like, you don't have to be a male feminist in order to, you know, be kind and protective of women and stuff, but it's just so ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you think about what Benedict Cumberbatch has to say? Please leave a like, all that good stuff. I'd appreciate that. A comment, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon. Bye.